everybody, welcome to Day Trip Vintage Company. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Julie, and today I'm doing something extra fun. I am participating in an open collaboration, and this open collaboration is hosted by Hazel of Hazel I Design. And when Hazel announced this about a month ago, I knew immediately it was something I wanted to participate in. I thought it was so fun. Plus, it is her first official collaboration. So what's more fun than that? I will post Hazel's original video down in the description of this video, and you can go back and look at her original video, but I'll just go over some of the points for the collaboration. It is called Pick a Pocket. I love that name. You need to include Hazel's channel in your title, which is right here at Hazel I Design. And she also asked that we tag 2 to 3 friends to keep it going. You can post a video to YouTube, or you can easily post a picture on Instagram as well, and obviously use this hashtag. And as Hazel said, it's meant to be fun and easy, and I love that. That's my idea of a fun collaboration. And the 3 people that I am tagging today, the first one is Gwen at Gwen the Trash Witch. I am also tagging Gigi of Journal Gigi Hannah, and also my friend LeAnne, my cohort on our little Golden Book Junk Journal series. I think she'll probably really love to participate in this as well. So LeAnne at Crafty Kitty Vintage. And I hope none of these creators have been tagged thus far. So hopefully this will be something new. And I'm looking forward to see what they will create with this collaboration. So let's get started. My jumping point was, and I'm sure Hazel didn't mean this when she came up with it, but pick a pocket instantly said to me something with multiple pockets. I don't know why. That just popped into my head. So something that had multiple pockets. So my jumping off point, because I've been really big on going through my stash, using what I have, and I have a whole stack of these envelopes, which I think I picked up in an estate sale. It was an estate sale from a former teacher, one of the most fabulous estate sales I've ever been to. In fact, I think my husband went with me. We were digging. It was dirty. It was amazing. I came away with so many amazing, wonderful things. And I think these were probably used for report cards is what I'm guessing. And I'm thinking she was probably an elementary school teacher. I love this. It has the child's name and the room number. And these have just been sitting in my stash. I haven't used them at all. So what I thought would be super easy to do with them, couldn't be easier, is to fold them and basically create pockets. So this is what I came up with, and I'm calling this, you can call it a tag holder or an ephemera holder. And basically I have created 3 pockets. So I have a top pocket, I have a middle pocket, and then I actually took a piece of vintage lace and made a 3rd pocket down below. I was originally going to make it as a belly band, but then I thought, no, we're doing pockets. It needs to be a pocket. So that's what I came up with. And the thought being, I'm still working on one of my little Golden Book journals, and I thought this would be so perfect to put in my 2 little gardeners journal. Isn't that cute? So adorable. And we'll be using vintage map and vintage book pages, but certainly use what you have on hand. Don't go out hunting for things. Use what you have. In fact, this would even be cute paper to put on here. So let's put this up here, and I just tucked some tags and ephemera inside mine just for display purposes. But here is our pocket, our 3-part pocket here, and we just have a little embellishment on that. So let's get going. And I'm not really working off of dimensions. I can give you, actually, let me see. You may want to know what the size of this envelope is. So it looks like it's an 8.5 by, let's see here. It's about an 8.5 by 5.5. That's an interesting size. And I actually folded on the seam side just because my thoughts are I'm going to glue the back. Sometimes when there's seams and things, sometimes it gets a little bit, I don't know. I don't want to say glitchy, but I just didn't want anything that would pull away from the page once I glue it down. And I'm just going to do a really easy fold here. And I'm going to take my bone folder and see how that kind of creased right there a little bit. It kind of folded funny. I'm just going to stick that down in there and really burnish that down. There we go. Now, when I was making the prototype for this, I layered my papers on and then I cut a notch. So this notch was already here, which I do love the way that notch looked, but I wanted to add a notch down here. So I did this notch and then I went back and I matched it on the top. But the thing I found, because this is so thick, it was really difficult to get my paper punch through. So I think we're gonna do this one a little bit different. We are going to punch and then put the paper on. We'll see if that works. I kind of haven't done that like kind of an after the fact thing, but we'll see how that works. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. That was really easy to cut. And this one will be a little bit more difficult just because it's so thick. And then maybe let's just, should we put a little visual on it and see if we can kind of be somewhat symmetrical here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to give myself a little line, and this will be a test. You wouldn't think just that one little bit of extra bit of paper really added to it, but it did. It was difficult to cut. So let's see here how we do with this. This kind of doesn't seem very lined up here. Yeah, that was hard, but much easier. I had a hard time with that little bit of extra map there on the front, surprisingly. Let's keep our space clean here. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna layer on is this back piece, and I just used some vintage thesaurus paper. So hard to say. And because I like the way it looked with this vintage map page. And I just already pulled out a sheet here. I'll put that aside. And you can cut it with your scissors. I find it's just as easy to come in with a ruler and just rip it down this way. And I want to get rid of all the blank parts of it. I basically want to have the text left. I don't necessarily always find the white part to be the most interesting. However, I will say I like this, so I'll keep this in my little stash over here, my little scrap bin, because I do like that. I think those are often fun to add into a collage. There we go, and let's just do this. And we kind of lucked out that it was the exact size that we needed. Let me double check myself. Yep, that is perfect. Here, and I'm just gonna use, let me give it a once over. I don't think we have any weird words in there. and I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to use art glitter glue just because it's fast. It's very fast dried. It's quick. And I'll just give this a little outline up here and kind of guess how far down. Probably about here, and then we can go back and add some at the bottom. So very quick and easy. And the beauty of these types of pockets is that you can use your imagination. I mean, they can go any different direction, any different style to suit your journal. Kind of sky's the limit. I'll just come in here and add a little bit more here. Just tack that down. I like to tack this down too fairly well because we will be pulling tags and ephemera in and out. We want to make sure it's really down so that nothing gets caught over time. Okay, and I think we're pretty good. I'm going to turn this over, and I find it easier. Might need to do a little bit more tacking there at the top, but I find it's easier to trim from the back side. I hope everybody is doing well today. Very crazy week last week. I'm officially now the mother of 2 college-age children, which is exciting. My youngest, Ryan, graduated from high school last week, so it made for a very busy but very exciting week. It was a beautiful graduation. I think that got pretty close. Let me see. See if I can get it a little bit closer. No, I think that was as close. Yeah, and that is flush. That is flush. It was a beautiful day. I've been telling everybody we've been having such bad, like, kind of June gloom weather. May all the way through June, and graduation day Thursday was the most beautiful day. My parents came. Oh my gosh, it was just gorgeous and amazing. Such a beautiful day. I love it when things like that happen, right? Feels very meant to be, but it was just wonderful. The ceremony was wonderful. We went out to dinner after at kind of an old place that my parents used to eat at a lot when they lived up here in this area, so that was fun for them to revisit a place they used to love to eat back in the day, steakhouse. That was fun. I'm just gonna cut some of this down. Let's get rid of some of it, just so we have a smaller piece to work with. And I love having a bit of this blue down here. I'm a blue girl, so I do like that. And this will be much easier to glue because we can just put our glue here all across the front. Just do a little outline here. So it'll be very interesting to see what, I think I'll do this. I think I'll do that just so I don't get glue. Run that up there. And we're fairly straight there. Yeah, so it will definitely be interesting to see what, I'm going to cut that here, what summer is going to be like. Kind of all the crazy things that we've had to do the last few weeks and last month are over, so. And the one thing I am looking forward to is hopefully participating in more of these collaborations. I I love the idea of it. I love the thought of it. If anybody knows of any fun collaborations that they've been a part of or out there that you've enjoyed participating in, I would love to know. You can post that down below. I find sometimes it's hard to come across them. I seem to just kind of come across them just happenstance. So I wish there was a better way, right? So we could know about all these fun things to participate in. Okay, so there we do. We have our map, and I think what I'm going to do is wrap this little piece around here, just to give it a little bit more fortification. There we go. So they're so quick and easy. This would be a really easy mass make as well. They come together very quickly. Okay, so I think the next step, what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of inking. It's easier, I find it's easier to ink before we glue it down. And I am using Vintage Photo for this. I think that's what I used. Oh, you know what? This I changed out. Actually, I think what this is actually walnut. So I think we're going to switch to this. I had taken off my Vintage Photo one here, and I can tell this is my my walnut. So we'll continue with the walnut color here. I think they're both beautiful. In fact, I kind of like that darker contrast. And we'll come in here, and you could also you could do take it another step, and you could also line this with vintage book paper or even the map. Get a little bit of a three-way contrast going. I think that would look really cool, and just kind of give it another little extra like that. Get this in ink here. That's really nice. And I think I'll even though I will be gluing this down in my journal eventually, give that a little something down there. Maybe we'll hide that a little bit. Once we glue down that edge, we can ink that up and see if we get a little bit of that that envelope showing there. So I think that's good. I think we like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue down our edges. I'm going to bead a glue down there. Make sure we're really attached here. We're probably pretty good. There we go. Nice. Okay, let's put our, so we don't dry out too much here. And then I just pulled out just some little bits and bobs and little pieces of ephemera here. The one thing that I knew I wanted to use is I love this bit of vintage lace. It's also really starched. So this is a great type of lace to use for this application, to use for pocket. So we know that will go across the front. And then let's work on our little cluster here. And I just pulled out some, I have a little stash of Tim Holtz butterflies. So I pulled out a few of those that I thought would look nice. Let's see which one we kind of want to work with here. Do I want to do green or do I want to do, oh, I kind of like that, orange. Let's see, that's awfully pretty. And I have another green one. Maybe let's do the orange because it's a little bit different, especially if I end up putting both of these pockets in that same journal. I think that'll give us a little bit more interest. So let's use the orange one. And I just grabbed a piece of paper bag, brown paper bag, and this is just, I don't know, something from Trader Joe's. It's in my stash over here, and I've just sort of been working off of it. Lasts an awfully long time. Let's bring this down a little bit smaller. We don't need it too big. I think that's good. So we have that paper bag, and I love using this sort of journaling kind of office paper. I thought that added some cool interest in the back, but you could certainly use a rubber stamp. You could, I mean, sky's the limit. You could use postage stamps, but I like that graphic in the back. And I'm just going to rip that down a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more manageable. We'll save all these kind of fun bits here. Let's see what we have going on here. Let's see, hopefully I am on camera. Yes, I am. Let's see. Kind of like that. And this one, I think I had a little piece of, I don't know, a little piece of like vintage paper back here as well. But I just grabbed this ticket out of my little bowl over here. I was using it for something else, but I thought maybe that might look cool here underneath. I like the little bit of blue too, the blue on the map. I like that. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I think that has a cool look. And the other thing that I grab, I love working with this kind of fibery, the word is escaping me. It'll come to me. Let me cut this down a little bit smaller. I think the piece is kind of like a cheesecloth, but it's a really, I have two different kinds. In fact, let me see if I can pull it out. Yeah, so it's interesting. I bought this cheesecloth, I think, and that was the name of it. I think I bought it on Amazon. But look at how loose this is. So this is almost like a gauzy material, but it was a really old kind of vintage bag of it that was at my mom's. But I think they're both cheesecloths, so that's interesting. If you know. Let me know. Are there different types of varieties of cheesecloth? But it wouldn't seem like you could do much with that cooking wise. Okay, so we have our little pieces and parts. And what we're going to do is ink these up. Let's give them a little bit of oomph. Let's age them up a little bit here. And sometimes what I like to do is, I'm big on folding paper too and inking it. I think that even gives it a cool, kind of a cool aged look for something that isn't aged. We're just making it look old. In fact, I think I'm going to rip that. That will look cool. And then let's give this a little bit of inking here, and we'll build our cluster. And you can use glue to attach your cluster together. I've been having a lot of fun. I have a little vintage swing line stapler that I kind of rediscovered in my office supplies. And you can't really see. This is so dark to begin with, but we're just covering up the white, kind of the white edges of this die cut. I think that's pretty good. And let's see here. Okay, and then here's the little, isn't this cute? This is the cutest. So it's a swing line taut 50. And I think I showed this on one of our vintage craft and chats together on our Thursday live stream. But what I like about it too is the bottom pulls away. So if something's a little bit thicker, it's easier to get in there and staple. And the staples are super tiny. It's like a little, I call it, that's like my my little Tim Holtz kind of thing that I already had in my stash. Okay, so let's build. Let's see what we have going on here. We'll layer this one. And then let's see. I don't know if we want to put that over the top. Kind of see what we're doing here. Maybe let a little bit more of that poke up over the top. Do we like that? Do we want that behind there? Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Let me see what this looks like on this side. Might like that better on that side. No, I don't think so. This is always the tedious part of it all. I think I like that. I think I like the, rather than the number side, I think I like the kind of this writing side. I think I'm gonna kind of rip that a little bit more. And let's give it our little bit of a fold here. Just really grunge that up. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks really cool. And then we'll take a little bit of our cheesecloth here. Kind of lay that down there. See what that looks like. Ooh, I like that. In fact, might even give ourselves a little bit more. And we can always come in and sort of cut off some of the fibers there. I like that. Get a little bit more of that poking out there. Really cute. Okay, and then we're just going to take our little stapler. And I think this one I did two, just because this was a little piece of paper, but I think maybe we can get away with just doing the one. And let's see if we can, maybe, we might have to glue this, but I kind of like the idea of just the single staple going down the center of the butterfly. There we go. I like that. And I can tell, yeah, this piece was a little bit short, so we'll just tack that down with some glue. That's super easy to do. And we'll come by here. And obviously that staple is keeping everything together, but I do like to come in and add some more glue. It's also for looks, right? Looks really cool. Add a little bit more dimension to the cluster. Let's see here. I think we'll put a little bit more over here. Also, so that butterfly doesn't pull away too much in our pages as we're flipping through our journal. And I think because the antennae are kind of fragile and thin, we'll put a little bit of glue behind those as well, just so those don't rip off over time. So cute. And you can ink this cheesecloth. You can obviously you can dye it. You can do all sorts of stuff to it. I think I'll give that a little bit of a snip there. Oh, so cute. All right. Ooh, I love the blue. I'm glad we did the blue and the orange. Okay, I think I like that. And what we are going to do is, rather than gluing we don't want to glue the lace down and then this, because we don't want to chance it getting stuck, so we can't use it as a pocket. So I think what we'll do is we will glue this first. And for this, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. I could use art glitter. It would probably work sufficiently as well. But I think we're going to use the Fabri-Tac. Of course, this is always the bane of my existence. Yeah. Bear with the glue. I had it upside down and then I put it on its side. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. We're starting to come out there. There we go. Get a good bit in here. I'm going to kind of look here. Yeah, I think I want that about like that. Line this up. We'll give that a little bit of time to dry. Real time drying here. Let me grab a little paper towel I had here. Just blot off. Obviously, if you're doing this at home or in your craft studio, you can just let it dry a little bit more thorough. There, I think that's good. I just don't want it to stick and glue it down. And let's see, we'll place it about here. Let's see if we can get this glue to cooperate here. There we go. Now it's flowing well. And I cut the lace a little bit longer so we can come back in and trim that later. There we go. And I think it's just as easy to, we'll just run a bead down here. Sometimes I feel like I look like I'm doing things in a very awkward manner, but I get there. I get there eventually. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Here we go, and we'll line that up. That is stuck down well. And then we'll run a bead down this side. There we go. And where's my little bit of paper towel here? We'll kind of do that. All right. Oh my gosh, so cute. Let me put my pin back in and our top back in, just so we don't have any drying issues. Okay. All right, we're gonna come back in and let me grab my other scissors. Let me grab my bigger scissors here. And we will cut that, and then we can do it extra. Make sure we're glued down well, but I think we are. And I always save these little scraps. These are great for sticking behind, right? If you're just any cluster, like that would be if you weren't attaching the cluster to a piece of lace. I think it would be really cute to put those pieces behind. So I always save those. So cute. And we can actually come back into, and I'm going to ink this edge a little bit more. It wasn't something I did on the prototype, but I like that look. I like how we're going to get a little bit of extra dimension there at the edge. Sometimes I come up with the prototypes in a quicker fashion. And I get thoughts about little extras to add. So I think that did add a really nice detail there. And you could certainly come in too, and you could do a little bit of collage here. You can, you know, you can add dangles to it, really anything. And then I think the other thing that I want to do is I love adding this little kind of splotchy texture stamp here. And we'll see what it looks like with just the vintage photo. Let's come in and just add a little bit, just a little bit of extra. I think that just ages it and gives it another dimension. And I'll show you my original versus adding some little extras here. I like the way that looks. And I don't know if it'll show up, but yep, it does. I'm gonna add a little bit here to the stamp and the butterfly. And I'm even gonna add some up here because it does show up there. And I like that. I like that little bit of extra dimension. And there we are. So here's the prototype. And I'll go in later and zhuzh this up a little bit more. So that's our original. And then here's the one that we made together today. Oh my gosh, I love that. Let's grab some of our ephemera. And yeah, this will hold anything. Some of the tags I grabbed are just blank tags, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. This is a tag that we made together on one of our vintage craft and chats, but look how cute that is. So sweet. And I think this is probably a tag. We'll make this together in an upcoming Thursday. And how cute is that? That one has a little bit of fabric at the bottom of it, so I think it's preventing us from sticking in there. But super adorable. I love that. Nice. Alrighty, everyone. So that was my participation in the Pick a Pocket collaboration. Most definitely go check out Hazel and her channel. I think Hazel is marvelous. Just her personality. I enjoy listening to her. Sometimes she has just very down to earth, sage advice, and I enjoy that. And I enjoy the content that she puts out on her channel. And congratulations, Hazel, on your first collaboration. I think that is so fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Gwen and Gigi and LeAnne do with this hashtag. And I thank you very much. And if you can always find me every Thursday. I do a live stream craft tutorial. We do junk journal crafts, paper crafting, vintage style. We've done assemblages. We did vintage bingo card, fun ornaments a few weeks ago. So all kinds of fun. Anything I love that I think you will love is what I'm all about. And that's every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And that's 2 p.m. Eastern. And I thank you very much. And thank you, Hazel. Bye-bye.